Hello students, now we will see about structure and labelings of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane structure was given only after discovery of electron microscope in 1950s and during the studies on RBC outermost layer, that is cell membrane or plasma membrane. As RBC is animal cell and does not have any cell wall, but it has an outermost plasma membrane or cell membrane. So plasma membrane structure was given after discovery of electron microscope in 1950s while studying on RBC. Now, plasma membrane. So I am representing plasma membrane as capital P, capital M. Plasma membrane detailed structure is given by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. The model explained by Singer and Nicholson is called as fluid mosaic model or quasi-fluid model of plasma membrane. Model given by Singer and Nicholson other term is quasi-fluid model. Quasi-fluid model, the term is given based on the arrangement of lipids. Now, plasma membrane is said to be having proteins as icebergs in sea of lipids. Is said as having protein icebergs in sea of lipids. In sea of lipids. Now coming to the structure. Plasma membrane is also called as biphospholipid layer. You will see why the term is given so. So we will give labelings. This P indicates phosphate molecules. This one is connecting both one layer of the plasma membrane, other layer of the plasma membrane. This is normally called as tunnel, but it is one of the intrinsic protein. Intrinsic means internal protein. These are peripheral or external protein. External, this is also called as extrinsic or peripheral proteins, outermost proteins. Now these round color structures are basically lipid is a combination or composed of glycerol plus fatty acids. Now these are glycerols. These are present on one side, so they are said as polar structures or polar head. This is glycerol. This is present on one side, so called as polar head. Fatty acids are present towards inside. They are said as non-polar tails. These are also intrinsic proteins or internal proteins. This one is carbohydrate attached to the protein molecule. So we give a term like these are glycoproteins. Now, plasma membrane is also called as biphospholipid layer. Two sides phosphates are there, and this is completely made up of more number of lipid molecules. So it is called as bi. Bi means two in number. So two phospholipids, lipids in layers. We will see some of the points related to that. Plasma membrane is biphospholipid layer. Now, protein plus glycerol together are called hydrophilic moieties. Because hydrophilic is the term that is given for the molecules which allow water molecules to pass through them. Up to here, water molecules can come normally by passive method without using any energy. So they are called as hydrophilic substances or hydrophilic moieties. But fatty acids does not allow any water molecule. So fatty acids are said as hydrophobic moieties. Or hydrophobic substances. Next, the ratio of proteins to the lipids in a plasma membrane is different. Ratio of proteins is to lipids in plasma membrane is proteins constitute 52%, lipids constitute 40%. Mostly this percentage ratio is said to be in human being plasma membrane or cell membrane protein and lipid ratios. We can see the non-polar tails or the fatty acids are facing each other. Non-polar tails or fatty acids are facing each other. In a plasma membrane. There will be weak forces between the phospholipid bilayer. Attraction is weak. So such weak forces between two phospholipid layers are called as van der Waals forces. Weak forces between two phospholipid layers. This is one phospholipid layer, this is another phospholipid layer. So attraction between these both is weak, and that is called van der Waals forces. Next, there will be movement between phospholipid molecules, phosphate plus glycerol plus protein, between and fatty acid. So one phospholipid molecule which constitute fatty acid plus glycerol plus this one phosphate molecule. There will be movement of these molecules within the layer. So such type of movement is called transition movement. Sometimes this total structure, phosphate, glycerol, fatty acid, it will be flipping to other layer. Such types of movement are called flip-flop movement. So phospholipids in the sense phosphate plus total lipid. We said that lipid is a combination of glycerol plus fatty acid. So phospholipids move within same layer. That is called as transition movement. Phospholipids, same phospholipids, moves between two layers. Such type of movement is called flip-flop movement. Next. Here, for the existence of these internal proteins or intrinsic proteins, there must be some pores, because plasma membrane should allow some of the particles, either they may be selectively permeable or semi-permeable, means water molecules. For that, there must be some gaps to allow the mineral ions, etc. Such types of structures or gaps are called as pores. That pore size typically in a plasma membrane, it will be varying from cell to cell. It will be nearly, pore size will be 7 to 10 angstroms, and thickness will be 75 to 100 angstroms. So we will write here. Pore size is 7 to 10 angstroms. Pore thickness will be 75 to 100 angstroms. Next, already we have seen in case of human body, the plasma membrane will be having 52% of proteins and 40% of lipids. So this is protein and lipid ratio. Next, did we miss any of the points? Means, so hydrophobic part, hydrophilic part. So non-polar tails, fatty acids. Next, hydrophilic moiety. Now here we will see one point. Since plasma membrane is showing two types of natures, that is hydrophilic nature and hydrophobic nature. Such types of plasma membrane is said to be amphipathic in nature. Amphipathic means having both water allowing nature and fat only lipid allowing nature. Two different types of natures are seen in one single plasma membrane. So it is said as amphipathic in nature. So plasma membrane is amphipathic. Just like we will see amphibians which are living both in water and land and on land. Like that, in case of plasma membrane, it is showing both water allowing nature and only lipid allowing, means water non-allowing nature also. Since it is showing, plasma membrane is showing two types of characteristic features. Such type of nature is called as amphipathic nature. So we are telling plasma membrane is amphipathic. So this is just the structure and important points regarding fluid mosaic model, and also the structure and labelings of plasma membrane.